If you're looking for a phone under 20,000 rupees, you have some pretty good options at your disposal, especially when it comes to specifications. Now, while 6GB of RAM is not entirely indicative of the phone's performance, it does tend to attract a lot of attention from consumers. If you're buying a phone under 20,000 rupees with 6GB of RAM on your mind, here are some of the options you can choose from in no particular order. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you know when we have new videos. The Xiaomi Redmi Note 5 Pro is among the most popular phones under 20,000 rupees in India today. It has a 6-inch Full HD Plus display with an 18:9 aspect ratio and MIUI 9 software based on Android Nougat. The dual SIM handset is powered by the Snapdragon 636 SoC and has a rear-mounted fingerprint sensor and face unlock functionality. Priced at 16,999 rupees for the 6GB RAM variant, the Redmi Note 5 Pro boasts of dual rear camera setup with a 12-megapixel primary sensor and a 5-megapixel secondary sensor accompanied by an LED flash. For selfie lovers, the Redmi Note 5 Pro also has a 20-megapixel sensor and an LED flash. The storage capacity of the handset is 64GB with support for storage expansion via microSD card in a hybrid configuration. It did quite well in our tests, which earned it an overall rating of 9 out of 10. The first handset by Oppo's new sub-brand Realme, the Realme One is a new kid on the block. The 6GB version of the phone is priced at 13,990 rupees, thereby undercutting the popular Redmi Note 5 by a notable margin. Another highlight of the smartphone is the 128GB of internal storage, which is double of what its chief rival offers. It's a dual SIM smartphone with Android 8.1 Oreo based on ColorOS 5 and a 6-inch Full HD Plus display. It runs on the octa-core 2GHz MediaTek Helio P60 SoC and an AI-specific dual-core chip. It also sports a 13-megapixel rear camera with an LED flash and an 8-megapixel front camera and has a face unlock feature that is set to unlock the smartphone in about 0.1 seconds. The Realme One battery capacity is 3410 mAh and the company is also touting an AI board assistant on board. However, it does not have a fingerprint sensor. Asus is taking on the Redmi Note 5 Pro in India with its Zenfone Max Pro M1. It comes in 3 variants, though the top-end option with 6GB of RAM and 64GB of storage is yet to hit the market. At the launch in April, Asus said that the Zenfone Max Pro M1 6GB variant will be priced at 14,999 rupees and will go on sale soon. The dual SIM phone runs on a pure version of Android 8.1 Oreo out of the box and will be getting Android P and Android Q upgrades. It has a 5.99-inch Full HD Plus screen with an 18:9 aspect ratio. Like the Redmi Note 5 Pro, it is powered by an octa-core Snapdragon 636 SoC. There's a dual camera setup at the back with a 13-megapixel primary sensor and a 5-megapixel secondary sensor. On the front, we have an 8-megapixel selfie camera. Flipkart recently gave a discount of 6,000 rupees to the 6GB RAM variant of the Oppo F3 Plus, thus bringing its price down to 16,990 rupees. The dual SIM smartphone runs on Android Marshmallow based ColorOS 3.0. It has a 6-inch Full HD JDI in-cell display and a 2.5D curved glass. It's also powered by an octa-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 653 chipset that is coupled with the Adreno 510 GPU. The Oppo F3 Plus sports a 16-megapixel primary camera sensor on the rear with an LED flash and a dual camera setup on the front with 16-megapixel and 8-megapixel sensors. It also bears 64GB of inbuilt storage that is expandable via microSD card with a dedicated slot. Last but not least, it also packs in a 4000 mAh battery. The Infinix Zero 5 is another mobile phone under 20,000 rupees that features 6GB of RAM and dual rear cameras. Priced at 17,999 rupees, the Infinix Zero 5 features a 5.98-inch Full HD display and is powered by an octa-core MediaTek Helio P25 SoC that's clocked at 2.6 GHz. There's also 64GB of inbuilt storage, which is expandable. It runs on Android 7 Nougat with the company's custom skin XOS 3.0 on top. There's a 12-megapixel primary sensor and a secondary 13-megapixel sensor backed by a dual LED flash. Selfie enthusiasts get a 16-megapixel camera with an LED flash, and it also packs in a 4350 mAh non-removable battery. The Infinix Zero 5 Pro is largely the same as its sibling except for the storage capacity. It gets double the storage as a Zero 5, meaning 128 GB of onboard storage. As for the price, customers will have to pay a premium of 2,000 rupees, putting the Infinix Zero 5 Pro price in India at 19,999 rupees. As for the remaining hardware and software, it's pretty much identical to the Zero 5. This means the phone has the same 5.98-inch Full HD display, an octa-core Helio P25 SoC, 64 GB of inbuilt storage, microSD card support, and Android Nougat based XOS 3.0. There's also the 12 megapixel plus 13 megapixel dual rear camera setup, 16 megapixel selfie camera with an LED flash, a fingerprint scanner, and a 4350 mAh battery. Chinese brand Coolpad's 6GB RAM offering, namely the Coolplay 6, is priced in India at 14,999 rupees and has dual 13 megapixel cameras. The smartphone has a 5.5-inch Full HD display and runs on a custom UI called Journey UI. Under the hood is a 1.4 GHz octa-core Snapdragon 653 SoC. The front camera of the Coolpad Coolplay 6 has an 8 megapixel sensor. The phone has 64 GB of inbuilt storage with provision for storage expansion via microSD cards. The dual SIM phone also features a hybrid setup. Connectivity features of the Coolplay 6 include 4G VoLTE, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 4.0 and USB Type-C. The phone also has a 4000 mAh battery, and Coolpad claims it has, through software optimizations, ensured the device delivers performance of a 4500 mAh battery. Rounding up this list is the Nubia Z17 Mini, which is priced at 19,999 rupees. However, you can find it for 18,999 rupees online in India. The Z17 Mini is the smallest handset of the lot in terms of screen size, courtesy of its 5.2-inch Full HD panel. It's powered by a 64-bit Qualcomm Snapdragon 652 SoC and runs on Nubia UI 4.0. The dual camera setup on its back features a pair of 13 megapixel sensors protected by sapphire glass, while the front shooter has a 16 megapixel sensor. Connectivity options on the handset include 4G, Bluetooth 4.2, GPS and USB Type-C. It also comes with a 2950 mAh battery and has 128 GB of inbuilt storage, which is expandable. So these are some of the good smartphones with 6 GB of RAM under 20,000 rupees currently. Thanks for watching, and for all things tech, log on to Gadgets360.com.